And here we are. So, welcome again. This is day two of the stream. So, I am taking on the day two challenge of the local hack day share events being organized by Major League Hacking. And if you had joined on the MLH Twitch stream earlier today, so Ryan and Mary just declared the day two open, and the agenda for the day two local hack day share had been uploaded on their website. So, what I haven't planned today for today's stream is that I'll be going over some of the projects that I said that I would be completing and posting on the dev post forum that we have. And also, I'll like a moment to talk about one of the workshops that I attended today. And after that, once we are done with that, then we'll probably uh, dive a bit into coding, and we will be solving one of the automation challenges that we have. So for that, I am thinking of a Twitter bot, but let's see how it goes. uh, that's about it. So let us see if we have enough members in this stream. So we already have some viewers. So if you are viewing the stream, do leave a comment so I'll know that things are working quite nicely. Other than that, then let's get started. So I'll just fix some of my OBS scenes right here, and then we can dive right in. So here we are. This is the homepage for the local hack day share event that is going on. And if you go to the schedule, you will have the day two challenges that are here. These are the events that are happening on March 29th, and all of the time is in American time. So these are the challenges that we have. The registration challenges we went over yesterday. The daily challenges have changed, and there is also a week-long challenge section now. And let us take a look at the leaderboards where we are. So it is taking quite a bit to load the leaderboards. Are they pulling something? We will see. Okay, so yes, the leaderboard now works. If you see here, let me zoom in a bit. uh, Blahaj gang has took over Ready Hub, and they are currently running at 3,142 points, and I am associated with Eddie Hub, and we are running second with 2613. So that is about the leaderboard, and then let me get started with the thing that I am here for. So I'll just jump. First, let me jump to the challenge that I was talking about the previous in the previous stream, that we had to create a starter project built on the starter kits that MLH has provided, and building a playlist saving project, and a playlist saving and sharing project on top of that. So I created a web app, and let us see where it is hosted right now. So if you go to this GitHub repository, Sudipto G81 slash LHD hyphen playlists, this has been forked from the hackathon node.js starter repository template that we had been given. And on top of that, I've built something up, and here I am talking about it. So we had been given another challenge to register a .com domain, uh, and for that challenge, I uh, registered this lhdlists.com domain. So here it is, and I have linked written everything out in the readme file how to get this thing working. So as we saw at the starter kit yesterday, all of the things were configured for us in the starter kit, and we just had to write our own modules and services and whatever we needed for the projects. So let us take a look at it. So here is the project that I came up with. This is the MLH local hack day playlist sharing website. So we have to log in with GitHub. We have an option for that, and these are the playlists that people have created. So some person has created this playlist, and these are some of the mm, videos that has been added to this playlist. And if we click on one of them, we will be uh, greeted with this page that has an YouTube player embedded in embedded inside of it. And if we click that, it will open, it will play that video for us. And if we log in with GitHub, then it will ask for permissions and all for the first time if you do it. But then once that is done, you will be able to create a new playlist here by putting a playlist name. So let me take a look at one of my playlists that I had created. This is the Eddie Hub playlist that I have been working on. So if I let's say there is a cats playlist also. Let me show you how this works. So this is my username and profile as it has fetched from GitHub. And if I have to have a new playlist, let's say the playlist name will be dogs. So let me create that. So the dogs playlist has been created, and now we can add the videos to it. So let me search for dogs YouTube videos. Let us see. So let us just quickly copy this link, and let me paste it over here, and we can add this video to this playlist. So it uses the YouTube data API to fetch the thumbnail URL and the title and the channel title and the description that is here, and then we add it. And let's take another video right here, and let me close that. And if we add another video, that is also added to this playlist. So, and if I open this playlist in the incognito window, this will also work. So you can create your own playlists and share with them. So we shared it in the community that we have, and some of the people are saving their playlists on this platform. So this was the project that I created for that playlist and playlist project and playlist challenge, let's say, and the build with starter kit uh, challenge. uh, I completed both of those two challenges with this project. And if you like this project, do leave a star on. And even if you have something to share, like if you have any tips of how I can improve on top of this, you can send over some pull requests, and I'll take a look at it, or just reach me out on my socials. So this was this thing. And I also had, yeah, I also had a GIF that we had created for the guild event. So let me pull that up real quick. I guess I sent it to someone on Discord. So let me grab a link to that GIF, and I've opened that up, and let me just go into my OBS and let's transition back. So this is the GIF. We had been asked to share how to pronounce the GIF as in the graphics interchange format extension. So this was my GIF submission for that. G as in giraffe, and by the way, Eddie Brocks. So I guess that was cool enough for that challenge. And that challenge is also done. The LHD playlists challenge is done. And then we come along this other blockchain thing that I was talking about. So let me go to the schedule here. So this was the workshop that I attended, the basics of blockchain with Horizen. Horizen is a platform to build apps that use blockchain and side chains, if you look at it that way. And Aaron from MLH had hosted this workshop, and we took a look at, not created specifically, we took a look at one of the applications that was written in the with the SDKs that the Horizen platform provides us. And in the starting of the stream, what he started doing was he literally distributed some cryptocurrencies. Uh, we created some wallets, and we received those after the block had gone through. The transaction was successful, and then we had to clone a project. Let me see if I can pull that up real quick. So this was the Horizen, yes, the Pong game Horizen. This was the application, and I'll show a demo of it, how it works. So let us take a look. So this is the Horizen application that I was talking about, that we went over in this workshop. So we have to press start game to start a new game of ping pong. So if I click on start game, so it is expecting us to provide some crypto to to an address. And once we make the payment, it will watch for the blockchain transactions, and if the transaction is successful, then we will have a game of ping pong. So let me show you how it is done with this Horizen platform. So they have their own wallet, that is the Sphere wallet thing. Once you create a wallet and create a password and all, secure it with the passphrase, then you will be able to send and receive crypto in form of Zen. So let me send some Zen coins over. So it is expecting 0.0005 Zen to be sent over, but I will not be sending over 0.005. I can it is just for the front end. There is no such check there. I checked the source code. So we can send 0.00005 Zen, and with a transaction fee of 0 Zen, let's say, and then we can confirm this transaction by entering the wallet password, and then the transaction is successful. So we can view it on the blockchain. That is also cool. So let me view it on the blockchain. It is not yet settled. It is pending. We know that, but then we get this address, the wallet address. We can just submit it, and it will check for payment. So it has detected that the payment has been successfully made. So it has now opened up this game of ping pong. So we can move our side like this using the Q and the A keys, and if I press 1, the game starts automatically. So let us see how well we do. So if we win, then what it will do is, then it will send a payout. So if we won, then we have to provide an address again where we want to receive the payout to redeem the prize. So this was the thing that we bet some crypto on this thing, and then it did not work. Why it did not work? Because the thing is that the code was incomplete, and we had to complete it. So there is this watch for payment method that watches for payments every 5,000. So if every 5,000 milliseconds, it watches if the payment has been made, and this was this create transaction method that we had to complete. I will have to look into the documentation for the Zen, the Horizen SDK, of how the transactions are created, but we basically had to complete this function, and we had to sign the transaction and all, and broadcast it to the blockchain. So that was pretty cool to see. We also have we also have a challenge that we have to create an application based on the blockchain technologies. So yeah, this was some bad request. Hmm, Probably issue with the code, but that was cool that we can have easy to code blockchain solutions. It was able to detect the transaction, right, that we made. So that was it for that. We covered this already. Then let's get to the challenge that we will be coding for today. So what I am looking at right now, I will be automating something to share daily, and that could be a Twitter bot. So if they have asked for a Twitter bot, let's go ahead and do it. So before we create a Twitter bot, I like to use some useful information to create the Twitter bot for. So let us define our problem statement here. So what I am thinking of doing is, let me open a text editor. Let's open Vim, and our plan will be that we will use an API to fetch some data, weather pollution data, and then what I am thinking of is, we will have a cron job. This cron job will run around uh, after every 3 hours. After every 3 hours. So after every 3 hours, a cron job will run. What this cron job will do is post a tweet with the air pollution data. So that is what I am looking at. And also what we will also try to do is that if there is a tweet, if there exists a tweet with the hashtag AQI automation bot, then we will like that tweet. Then we will follow that. We will not follow that user. That would be creepy. But then let's just say we will reply to the tweet. So if there is an now if there is a location information, if they have shared like New Delhi hashtag AQI automation bot, then it should print tweet out information about that area. If there is location in the tweet, reply with data. Otherwise, let's just say that else reply with some message. And that I am planning to run continuously. So that's my plan of how we are going to do this. So how are we going to get the weather pollution data in the first place? So for that we have this aqicn.org. They have a JSON API. I was looking at it a few months earlier as well. So it is a real-time air quality data feed. We can get some data from this. Like if city feed, we will have all of this information like the daily forecast data and the ozone information, the individual air quality index and all, and we can have that data. So let us use this API. When so how can we search for a particular location? If the tweet has a location, then we have to search using this endpoint, and we can get the entire data stream using this endpoint, this slash feed. So let us take a look at how can we create a Twitter bot. Creating a Twitter bot. Let us search for that. Creating a Twitter bot. How can we do that? So let us see. Free Code Camp has an article on this. Let us take a look at that. Okay, what are they using? Okay, so they are using their own helper functions and using the Twitch library to do this. I think I'll use Python in this stream. Let's see how to create a Twitter bot in Python. So, okay, Free Code Camp has another article. They are using the TreePy module. Okay, so let us take a look at TreePy. So TreePy has an website. It is a Python library for accessing the Twitter API. Okay, read the docs. Okay, so let us get started with coding. And let me pop out of this and let me create a new folder. So make directory AQI Twitter bot, let's say. AQI Twitter bot, and let me navigate to that directory. Once we are here, let us create a new virtual environment. So vnv, do I have that installed? Let me search for creating a virtual environment in Python. It's great to just have all this documentation here. Okay, virtual env. So we have this virtual environment then. Let us activate it using env bin by sourcing this activate script. So now the env virtual environment has been activated, and let's install TweePy inside of it. Pip install TweePy. Okay, it has now installed TweePy into this virtual environment, I guess. Then what do you have to do to create a tweet? So we need let me zoom in. Okay, so we need to have a couple of information. So this is some starter code. Let's see. Let me open up Visual Studio Code here. I'll say index.py, and to create a module, let me create this file. Let me accept that. Let me install that formatter also. Select the Python interpreter. I'll be using the env. Import TweePy. Now we need certain pieces of information. We will see what are those. So let us then go into the authentication tutorial. So we have a application user to authentication OAuth 1A or OAuth 2, and authentication is handled by this auth handler class. So let us see how they are doing it. So for the credentials, okay, we need to go to the apps.twitter.com. Let us go to that. Okay, we have to create a Twitter application and generate a consumer key, consumer secret, access token, and access token secret. Let us do that real quick. So we'll create a new project. Let's name it the AQI automation bot project. Select a use case, making a bot, project description, doing it for the stream, hashtag MLH, hashtag LHD share. The app name will be AQI automation bot, and let us click on complete. So we have this information. We have an API key. I'll probably regenerating the tokens anyway. So these are the API key and the secret. Let me quickly regenerate all of this, and I'll get back. So I'm right now I am regenerating the consumer keys, and I am copying them again. I am creating a .env file, so we will have a fun managing the environment variables. Let me uh, go into the OBS scenes, and let me have myself on the stream as well, otherwise it will look dead. So what I am doing right now is I am copying the API key and the API secret and saving it onto a text file. So Twitter API key will be equal to something, and Twitter underscore API secret will also be something that we have on the dashboard. So once we have those, we will regenerate the bearer token. that I will save it as Twitter underscore bearer underscore token. These are the variables. I'll be uploading this on GitHub soon, and once I am done with that, you can have a bit of hacking around. So once I have that correctly set up, let me share my screen again, or not. So okay, my OBS scenes are a little bit messed up. So anyway, here we are. Uh, so I have generated the consumer keys and the authentication tokens. We also need some access token and secret. We will see about that. We have the consumer key and the consumer secret. So for that, I need to install a couple of more packages, I guess. How is .env doing on the Python world? So we have a python.env module. So let us install that. Pip install python -env, and this is how we load .env in Python. So there is this load.env function. So we call that. So now we will have the access to all the environment variables. So once we have that, let us see what else do we need. So now we need to access the environment variables in Python, and let us see a Stack Overflow post on how to do we get this. So we use the OS module for this. I import the OS, and we have os.environ.get Twitter. Was it the consumer key and secret that I had? Yeah, that would be the consumer key and secret. That the API key and the API secret. So let me split this up on a couple of lines. So that is it for that part. Now we need some access token, so I can generate it from here. So I'll quickly move over and generate it. So I've generated the access token and secret, and let me also save it those to the env file. Twitter access key is equal to that access key that I got. I'm sorry, but I can't show you what I am doing right now, but it will work, I guess. Twitter access key and access secret. Copy this and save it. So now we have those set up. Let us go back to our file, and all of this I was doing in the init file. Let us go back to our index.py, and we will do this here. So now we also have the access to the access token and access token secret. So we will do something like let me take a bit of a help here. So access key, I'm just copying the variable names from the .env file. So once we have those set up, so now we have, in essence, the Twitter. All of this should work, And now we should have some tweet objects that can be printed. So let us run it using Python. So using Python 3, I'll run the index.py file, and yes, it did something. It printed out a bunch of tweets, and it just used the home timeline, first couple of bunch of tweets that appear in my Twitter feed, and then just printed it. So we have access to the Twitter environment. So we can do the tweeting part of it from here only. But first of all, let us create a helper file. Let's say helper module. Let us name it eqi.py. So for this, I'll have to regenerate it again. Yeah, I'm regenerating the access token and secret again because I forgot to save it and close it down. So again, access key is saved, access secret saved. Let me click on yes, I saved them. Yes, now we have those out of our way. So let us see how we can make requests in Python. So for HTTP requests, let us take a look at the AQICN API that we have. We need to make a get requests. So the request library should work. And here we are. I'll probably regenerate all of it later, but it happens. So once we have that information, we can create a aqi.py file. We will import requests. Once we import requests, then what we can do is we can make a request. Obviously, requests you dot get, and I'll do this. We need to get to this endpoint right here. How are they doing this? So okay, this is the sample request that they have. So the keyword should be the location, I guess. We are wanting the data for, and this will be the token. Let us make it an f string, and this will be OS. Let us import OS. The API AQICN key should be OS dot. Did we get a API key for this? We did not. So let us get a API key for this API, and let us see how we can do that. So I'll go over to this to go over to a new tab, and let us see AQICN API get key. So they have this. We have to get the token from this page. Okay, so this is the API request token request form, and we have to enter our email address and our name to just verify, because people use this for academic work and all. So we have to do that, and once you do that, you will get an email, and in that email you will have your API key. So I had gone ahead and received an API key that I will be saving it in the .env file. So let me do that quickly. I'll go over to where I have saved that API key. So I'll do AQICN token is equal to that token, and then we will be good to go. So now I have saved that into the .env file, and we can have this AQICN underscore token, and we will have that AQICN token. So this will be the AQICN key and keyword Bangalore. So once we have that, what we can do is we can have the response. In the response, we can have a look at the JSON representation, because that will return a JSON, I assume. This will be the response object that we get. So let us print the response.json. So I'll run the aqi.py. Okay, it is an invalid key. Let me regenerate it in a bit, and I'll see you in a bit. So till that time, enjoy some music. I'll just stream some. Yeah, that's fun. So I figured that was not really an expired key or anything. I had just forgotten to import the OS .env module right there. So that was due to that. So let me just get that thing working again. So now I have that uh, AQICN token again here, and I forgot to call this function load underscore .env. So now once we have that, so we get this request, and if we go to the JSON, if I run it again, then all of this information is printed. So in essence, we need access to this data object. So in the data, we have an array of objects. These are the different stations, the air quality monitoring or weather monitoring stations that we have. And I am guessing that I am not sharing my screen right now, but here we are. Let me take a look again, and yeah, I'm doing this correctly. So now I had omitted these three lines, but now it is working, and we have this. These are the different air quality monitoring stations, and we can get the data from it. Specifically, what I am looking for here right now is for the first match that we can get. We will use that and get access to this URL property that is here. So I need so if I am searching for Bangalore, I need access to the first object in this list of objects array if you are coming from JavaScript, and I need the URL. So if I run it again, okay, URL is not there, but we should be able to print this part. Yes, so that is under the station. So I need the data for this station. Let me run it again. So now, yeah, so this is the weather monitoring station that we are looking for. This is the information. These are the coordinates of that station, and this is the URL that we can use this URL in this other API endpoint that we have, and instead of the city, we will just put this URL value, and we will get the city and station feed. Let us also take a look at how we can do that. So for that we will have to make another request. Let us reuse this, and for this we will use the feed, and instead of the keyword we will just have the token, and here we will have the station URL that we get, and then we will also have a look at the data that it is providing us. So there is no data in that response. Let us take a look at that. It is a 404. What exactly happened? So is that URL property not reachable? Okay, that did not work for some reason. We will take a look at it right now, because that is essential to our working. Let me comment these lines out real quick, and let us take a look at the data once again. So I'm running this file once again, and this time, what do we have for each station? I don't think we have anything else other than the same information that we were getting. Yes, we are getting the same information. Okay, we can also use the ID. So if I use the AQI, this is the AQI, we are already getting the AQI, but I need the UID then. So for this, I'll take the UID, and let us do this time. So I'll copy this part, and we will save this, and let us take a look at what it. So that is also a 404. That is interesting to say the least. Let us try with some other example. Let's say Delhi. Are we doing that correctly? Yes, we are doing that correctly. So okay, it worked for Delhi for some reason. This is really interesting. Let us change that to Bangalore again. Oh hi, we have some people on the chat again. So it's a Hypertriton, and there are a lot of emojis. I probably don't know what those emojis even mean, but here we are. So have the data. So I don't need this right now. We have that. Uh, we again have a data object. Let us take a look at that. So we have the AQI. Uh, Let me probably pretty print this. Let us see if pretty print in Python. There is a pprint. So let me use pprint here. This will be great for debugging later on. So let me instantiate the pretty printer and pp.print. This looks quite nicer. So we have the attributions. We have to use this for copyright purposes, that the data is coming from this source, and this is the city name. Okay, so this was the URL. I guess we used that only, but that did not come up. Anyway, we have some dominant pollutant information and some forecast information also, and we have the index and the time it was last fetched. So we can we can now search for some of this stuff. So let us get started with integrating this with the Twitter part of our project. Then how to create a Twitter bot, building the bot, not boat, obviously. Yes. So let me take a look at how they are doing this. Code snippets for follow all. No, I don't want this. I want to be streaming. Yes, I want to have yes, I want to download Twitter messages in real time, and then I want to look for all tweets that have the hashtag AQ. Let us take a look at the plan that we had created. So AQI automation bot, we don't really need the do we need that? We will take a look at it later, but for now, yes, let us integrate it right now. So we can filter the stream by specific user, or let's just search for TweePie stream hashtag. So okay, we can do this. I'll paste it in here. So so let us see how we do this. So we will go back to the documentation and do something like this. We need to have a stream listener. Let me copy this only, and once we have a stream listener, I'll name it AQI stream listener, and it will print the tweet as and when it detects this hashtag. Then it's my stream AQI underscore stream listener. Tab 9 is doing a great job. And then stream is equals to AQI. No, I need QPy dot stream auth equals to API dot auth. And listener will be this AQI stream listener. So we now have that out of the way. Then let us just search for it. So if I type AQI automation bot, so will it print? Because whenever there is a status, so it will filter for that, right? So let us try it out how it works. So I'll clear my console and run index.py. So it is working. It is waiting for something. Let me go to my Twitter account and then let me post a tweet. I'll go to my profile and let me post a tweet called AQI automation bot. Hey, hello world. So if I tweet that, so we have this information. One part of the thing is done. So then let us look at, we can now have that information. So I don't need this part anymore. We can just do away with this. We could separate this into a different file even, but this is fine for our purposes. So we have this stream going on, and on status I am printing that text. So the next part of our problem is that we want to get the data, get the string from it. So I'll just split it at the I'll just take some of the words to split by word in Python. So the string split method, what it will do is, okay, what I want is I want I want to split a sentence into words. Split a sentence into words in Python. If I search for that, so we have this. Okay, so by splitting the first index element, we can have this. So we'll use something like this. We'll use the first element and call split on it. So then we will have a list of all of the, and then we will concatenate. We will join all of the words that come after the hashtag. So I'll get that location query from that part. That is what I am thinking right now. So let us do that. So join elements list to Python. So we also have, I'm just searching for everything right now. It's a mess. Python sublist or splice the list. So I will have something like this: split 1 is 2, and I'll join it with a space. So let us see if this works. Uh, I'll just quit that, run it again, and I'll go to my Twitter, Scientific Ghosh. I'll delete my earlier tweet and I'll tweet again. AQI automation bot, Bangalore. So now I have tweeted AQI automation bot. So list object has no attribute called join, but we did have something going on. That's progress. We have a different error message. Python join list. So we have to, okay, we have to do that. The syntax for that is different. So we have to do something like this. Dot join. We have to have the character in front of it. So let me run it again and let me tweet again. Let me tweet the same thing once again. So let me delete that and I'll EQI. So I'll do hello world this time, so it does not limit me. So once we have that, we have nothing. That is also progress. So let's just see that what is happening. What happens if I just go to a Python console and do something like this? If I have something like hashtag AQI bot hello world, if I save this in a string, say s, and s 0 dot split, okay, that does not work as expected, but this works. So we can have that, and we can basically do this. Okay, I was going on another tangent with that, so we did not need to do this. We could just have done dot join on this. So now I can go ahead and delete it again, and Bangalore, let me delete it, tweet again. So now we should have Bangalore in our console. Okay, yes, we have it, because it is just because we did not splice it correctly. That is why that hashtag is also in our request. But basically we are now done with this part. We have, let us say this is our query. We have our query and we have our AQI, and let us say that I define a function here, and what this function will do is get station for a given query. And in Python 3.9 we can do something like this. So this is known as Python type checking. So this was a new feature in Python 3.9, I guess. Yes. 3.9 to type hints. Yes, we can do something like this. It returns a string. So that is the thing that I am looking at. We can have all of this inside this thing. We can have the query instead, and once we have the query, we will go ahead and return the let us actually split it into two different functions. This will be def get station data, and this will be the station ID, and this will return a dictionary. So once we have this, we will return this thing, the UID of that station, and here we will do something like UID yeah. So we can bring in the response.json data, and I'll just return all of that. So if I now do the station is equals to from .aqi import get station, and we have the access to get station. We pass the query, and then we can get the station data. And we also have to import vpy. Don't know how it got missed, but get station data using that station ID, and we can print it. I guess we will print it, and we had this in the AQI import print. pp is equals to pprint dot pretty printer indent is equals to 4, and we are doing pp.pprint here. So I'll go ahead and restart relative import with no known package. So this does importing uh, functions from another files in Python. So we have a couple of viewers already. I I see Shriram and Hypertriton. Hey, great to see you here. If you have any queries or you just have something to share, I can do that as well. So here I am taking a look at how to call a function from another files. What we are looking at here is we basically have to convert this thing to a module or package. Then we can do that. From file we can import this. Okay, so from AQI I can import that. Will that work? So I basically would need to have to prepend everything with AQI dot. So it is now doing something, waiting for something. I'll just delete that tweet again. AQI automation bot New Delhi. AQI is not defined. Okay, then we can move everything over to this file itself. I don't want to make it a very long stream anyway, so we will have this. So I will import requests here. So we don't need to import this AQI. We don't need this line. So we have this. I'll go ahead and run it again. Copy this tweet, delete it, and tweet again. This is the behind the scenes of how we do things. So we are waiting for that. Yeah, we got some data, and we got it for Noida. Okay, this is something that the backend API we are using has to do something with it. But we have the data at this point in time, and let's just uh, tweet something back instead of just printing it. I'll have a look at it later. So for now, let me just copy all of this. Copy everything. Maybe my mouse is not working correctly today, but anyway. So we'll have to use the screen only, no problem. So let us take a look at how we can follow back or do likes or give some feedback, reply to that tweet. That what I want to say. So for extended tweets, API methods, handling retweets, examples. Okay, let us tweet with TweePy. Let us take a look. Cursor. Anyway, let us take a look at tweepy reply to tweet. So tweepy. So there is a Stack Overflow right here. So we will have to have this. Let us use this directly. So we will have to API dot update status with your reply in response to tweet ID and auto populate reply metadata true. Let us take a look at what it is doing. So this will be the string that we create, and this will be the full data representation of what we will be doing. So I'll make that a doc string, and I'll probably use ddent Python. Let's see. So we have textwrap.ddent. Let us install textwrap. Pip install textwrap. And once that is done, okay, it was not found. Anyway, this is in some other package, I guess. We don't really need this, so I'll digress. So in this status, what I am looking at is, if we have this data, we can have the city for the city that the EQI for. Let's say if we make it an F string, then it would be the city, and in city we have the name, and that will be data AQI. We will just tweet that for now, and let us see what happens. We are making considerable progress right now. That is what I feel. This is a F string, missed a closing brace, but that is fine because we are not using anything else. The street ID will be the status dot we have to look at the tweepy documentation again. Tweepy stream, and when we have a stream, then we will have this status replying to a tweet. Streaming tweet tweepy. Okay, so we have the ID here itself, status.id. Let's take a look at it. What happens? Let's run that application. Delete this. Tweet again. AQI automation bot. New Delhi. or let's say Bangalore again. This is a read-only application, cannot post. Okay, so now we have to take a look at the settings for this application. So this is a read-only application. Let us change the permissions of this application so that it can post also. So let us do this again. Hang tight. So once we have this going, we'll probably call it a day. I really want to get this working on this stream. Again, this is a read-only application, but it is not. Okay, this is interesting. Do I need to do something else? Let us print this. What is the status.id and what is the city name that we are sending it for? This will sum it up what we are doing. So once this is done, we can basically run it for within a cron job. We can run this index.py again and again, and we will have an automation with us. Let me close that one out. Let me tweet again. AQI. But why is it happening? It is getting these things here. I should probably define all of this after I have defined the authentication things. AQI authentication bot, automation bot. So I will run this again. Delete this tweet. Tweet again. Okay. We found out tweet ID. Let us see if that tweet ID is correct. Yes, it was. So we are having access to the correct tweet. But let's see. This is a read-only application. It cannot post, but I literally gave it the permissions to do so. Let me do this again. Learning more about app permissions. Okay. Okay, so the user tokens must be changed. So let me regenerate the tokens and I'll be back soon. So let me regenerate the tokens. I'll regenerate all of the tokens. This might be a great time to do that. I regenerated the access token. I regenerated the access token secret. I regenerated the BRA token, but we are not using the BRA token. I'm using the API key and the API secret. I regenerated that. So now we will see what happens. I regenerated everything. I saved them, and let us tweet it again. This time I really want this to work. Aha, so we have it there. So AQI for we successfully made a reply to a tweet. Good job. So that worked. So if we want to do this as an automation, we can probably do something like, if there is no station, because if there is no station, then things could get weird. If the length of this, I really want, if the length of this is greater than 0, then only do this. Otherwise, return null, return none. Otherwise, just return, and if there is no station, if station is none, or if not station, then just return, because we don't want to be doing the same things again and again. We could totally do this though. No station found for this query. That would take care of that. And that is an automation that I could think of, that whenever a user wants the air quality information of a particular place, they should be able to get it. Let us check this one more time before I call it a day. And let me just do some house cleaning. I'll ask it for London. And let's see what happens. Okay, so the AQI for London is 33. Success. Yes. So that worked. So I'll just create a .gitignore file. I'll push it to GitHub on stream itself, and we will submit this. Git ignore PyCache and env and .env. So let me make a sample file for the .env file that we have. Let me copy all of this and create a sample file for all of the environment variables that we worked on. So this is the sample file that we came up with, and all of this is needed to make that automation work. So now let us freeze our dependencies. We will run it on reboot. Let me create a readme file. So this is AQI automation Twitterbot. What do you need to do? Get clone repo and cd repo. Python 3 venv env and source env /bin /activate pip install -r requirements .txt and python 3 index.py. Update create .env with the template as in .env.sample first. Then we can do this, and let us freeze our requirements. Freeze requirements txt python. So we can do pip freeze into requirements. So we will do that with python 3. So let us take a look at requirements.txt. So these were the different modules that we needed, and I guess that was it for this. So let us now submit it. I'll first create a repository for this Twitterbot. This is LHD Twitterbot. Let's create the repository. Let's initialize a Git repository here. Let us take a look at what all will be added to the repository. I don't want some of these. I don't want PyCache for sure. So GST. Now let us add all of these to the Git. Let me just commit it. It will be an initial commit. get remote, add origin. This will be the origin. Actually, just let me remove get remote, remove origin. I tend to use the SSH more often, so this is why I do this. I pushed it to main, and now it should be live. So we did all this. Our requirements.txt file is also here. Our env.sample file is here. So let us submit it on dev post. So we have some spammers already. So let me quickly take a look at what else is going on. So thank you everyone who is still watching along and whoever followed my Twitch channel. Great job. Then let us create a new project. AQI Twitterbot automation replies with the air quality index at a specified location whenever a Twitter user tweets. Hashtag AQI automation bot followed by the name of the nearest city. So this was built with Python. What else did we use? Let's take a look at requirements. We used TreePy, Twitter, so instead of the cron job every 3 years, I'll just do it on attribute. So reply with some message. This is done. That no station was found. Otherwise, I will reply with data. We have to also like the tweet, so I'll figure that out quickly before I submit it. So, tree by like tweet. Favorite. Okay, so we have to create a favorite whenever this happens. So let us do something like API dot create favorite, and this will take a status.id. Let us go back to what we were doing on dev post. Let us close all of this. We will have a GitHub link. I'll choose a video. I will use a video demo link also. And for the inspiration, let us click save and continue. The inspiration was to monitor AQI. Let's say I'll probably edit it before the deadline again. So we created a automate something to share daily. So for the daily thing, what we can do is what I'll do behind the scenes is uh, create another helper function and use the same methods to just reiterate every day. And what I could also do is save the Twitter user and the last location they searched for and save it in a database somewhere, and then we can uh, tweet them directly, or we can tweet for certain predefined cities. Take your information for that every day. So for that we can submit it. So I'll submit it after this stream gets over, but we basically built everything that we had to make. So I'll probably just add it again and create another commit like the tweet. So let me push it again. So that is now okay. Let us check if it is working or not by running it once again. Let me delete this tweet, delete this tweet also, delete this tweet also, and I'll do AQI automation bot, let's say Kolkata, and this should do something. So it has automatically liked the tweet and replied it with the correct information. So this is working. So great job to us, to all of us who are watching. Great job. We did build something. So let's take a look at the local hack day share page again. So you can still take part in one of the challenges that we have, and today we completed one challenge and took a look at one of the past projects that we created yesterday, and also took a look at from one of the workshops, whatever happened at one of the workshops today. So I'm calling it a day, and then let's just hop over to Twitch again, and let's see. We still have 3 viewers, so that's really great. I'm just ending the stream right now. We built an application, a Twitter bot, and we completed one of the local hack day share challenges for day 2, and talked about one of the submissions from day 1 and one of the workshops that took place in the local hack day share by Major League Hacking. Uh, Take a look at mlh.io, localhackday.mlh.io. Follow me on Twitter, and I'll be back soon. So let me just play some music and get going.